is a phenomenon that feels less like waking up and more like an alarm bell ringing inside your chest. You fall asleep easily enough. The first few hours of the night are peaceful, perhaps even deep. But then, with strange clockwork precision, often between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., your eyes snap open. This is not the slow, groggy awakening of a morning alarm. This is sudden. Your mind is instantly racing. You might feel a subtle pounding in your chest, a sense of urgency, or a feeling of alertness that belongs in the middle of a busy workday, not in the quiet dark of your bedroom. You look at the ceiling, waiting to drift back off, but your body feels hummed with invisible energy. You try to relax, but your thoughts begin to loop. You worry about the schedule for tomorrow, a conversation from yesterday, or simply the fact that you are awake. For millions of adults over the age of 50, this 3 a.m. wake-up is the most baffling part of their health. We often blame it on a full bladder, a snoring partner, or psychological stress. We tell ourselves we are just worriers. But there is a compelling biological reason this happens, and it often has nothing to do with what is on your mind. It has to do with what is happening in your blood. The reason you are waking up with a racing heart and a busy mind is likely a survival mechanism. It is a protective reaction to a silent crisis happening in your metabolic system. Your body isn't trying to annoy you, it is trying to save you. To understand this strange wakefulness, we have to look at the brain's relationship with fuel. While you are sleeping, your muscles are paralyzed and your conscious mind is offline, but your brain is incredibly active. It is repairing cells, consolidating memories, and flushing out toxins. This maintenance work is expensive. It requires a constant, steady stream of energy in the form of glucose. During the day, you feed this demand with meals, but at night, you are fasting. To keep the brain fueled during those 8 hours of darkness, your body relies on a backup battery, the liver. Your liver stores a reserve of sugar called glycogen. Throughout the night, the liver slowly releases this stored energy into the bloodstream to keep the brain happy and the blood sugar stable. It is a slow, steady drip of fuel. However, as we enter our 50s and 60s, this system can become less efficient. Our metabolic flexibility, the ability to switch between burning food and burning stored body fat, often declines. Furthermore, if we are under stress or if our diet during the day was high in processed carbohydrates, the liver's storage capacity can become compromised or depleted faster than expected. Here is the mechanism of the 3 a.m. wake-up. Sometime in the early morning hours, your liver runs low on that stored glycogen. The drip of fuel slows down. Your blood sugar levels begin to drop. For the brain, a drop in blood sugar is a red alert emergency. The brain cannot store fuel itself. It relies entirely on the delivery system. If the delivery stops, the brain thinks it is starving. It perceives this drop in glucose as a life-threatening event. So, the brain pulls the emergency lever. It signals the adrenal glands to release a cocktail of stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and glucagon. These hormones have a specific job. They force the liver and muscles to dump whatever energy they have left into the bloodstream immediately to raise your blood sugar back to a safe level. They are the body's emergency generator kicking on. The good news is that this mechanism works. It saves your brain from starving. The bad news is what these hormones do to your sleep. Adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone. It increases your heart rate, raises your body temperature, and sharpens your alertness. Cortisol wakes you up. So, at 3:14 a.m., you jolt awake. You are not awake because you are anxious. You are anxious because you are awake. You are feeling the chemical aftershocks of a metabolic rescue mission. Your body is physically prepared to hunt for food or run from a predator because that is the only way it knows how to raise blood glucose quickly. You lie there feeling wired because your system is flooded with stimulating hormones. You cannot simply relax your way out of an adrenaline spike. Once we understand that this is a fuel crisis and not a character flaw, we can change how we treat it. We stop trying to force sleep psychologically and start supporting the body physiologically. The goal is to stabilize the blood sugar curve throughout the night so the brain never feels the need to pull that emergency lever. We want to keep the generator silent. Here are 2 adjustments to your routine that address this metabolic wake-up call, followed by a technique to handle the adrenaline if it does occur. For years, we have been told that eating before bed is a cardinal sin of health. We are told that digestion disrupts sleep. While eating a heavy 4-course meal at 10 p.m. is indeed disruptive, going to bed on an empty tank can be just as damaging for the aging metabolic system. If you eat dinner at 6 p.m. and go to bed at 10:30 p.m., by the time 3 a.m. rolls around, you have been fasting for 9 hours. For a metabolically sensitive body, that is the danger zone where the crash happens. The solution is a strategic bedtime bridge. This is a tiny, specific intake of nutrients about 30 minutes before sleep, not to fill you up, but to stabilize the curve. The key is avoiding carbohydrates. You do not want a cracker, a cookie, or fruit, which will spike your sugar and lead to a crash later. Instead, you want pure fat or protein. A single teaspoon of raw nut butter, a small slice of cheese, or a teaspoon of MCT oil or coconut oil can work wonders. Fat digests slowly. It provides a long-burning ember of energy rather than a flash of fire. This small amount of fuel can be enough to sustain the liver's output through the critical 3 a.m. window, preventing the hypoglycemic dip and keeping the stress hormones dormant. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, the wake-up happens. You open your eyes, and you feel that familiar racing heart. The adrenaline is already in your system. Lying there and worrying about being awake only adds more stress, which releases more cortisol, creating a vicious cycle. You need a mechanical way to offload that stress. There is a breathing pattern discovered by neuroscientists that acts as a manual off switch for the alert system. It is called the Physiological Sigh. It is the fastest way to slow a racing heart in real time. Here is how to do it. Inhale deeply through your nose. Then, at the very top of that inhale, take a second, shorter inhale through the nose to fully inflate the lungs. Then, exhale slowly and fully through the mouth, making a soft sighing sound until your lungs are completely empty. That double inhale pops open the tiny air sacs in your lungs, alveoli, allowing you to offload a massive amount of carbon dioxide on the exhale. High carbon dioxide levels are associated with agitation. By dumping CO2, you signal the nervous system to downregulate. Doing this just 3 to 5 times can physically force the heart rate to slow down, counteracting the adrenaline spike and paving the way back to sleep. Addressing the fuel crisis is the first step, but often the nervous system needs long-term support to become less reactive. If your cortisol levels are chronically high due to daily stress, your emergency lever is greased and ready to pull at the slightest dip in blood sugar. In this context, natural support can be beneficial. There are specific nutrients found in nature that help modulate the adrenal response. These are not sedatives. They are adaptogens and minerals that help the body manage its stress chemistry more efficiently. The objective is to raise the threshold for what your body considers an emergency, allowing you to sleep through minor fluctuations in biology. For those interested in a comprehensive approach to quieting this nocturnal adrenaline response, there is a link in the description below. It provides information on a natural method designed to support metabolic and nervous system stability during the night, helping you stay in the restorative phases of sleep. The 3 a.m. wake-up is not a life sentence. It is a signal. It is your body telling you that the fuel gauge is running low and the stress response is running high. By ignoring the old advice to tough it out, and instead providing your body with the stabilization it needs, through a small bridge of healthy fat or a mechanical breathing reset, you can silence the alarm. You can turn that jagged, interrupted night back into a smooth, continuous line of rest. Of course, once you have secured a full night of sleep, the next challenge is how you utilize that energy during the day. Many people unknowingly sabotage their energy levels within the first hour of waking up by making simple mistakes with light and hydration. To keep learning about how to work with your body's natural rhythms rather than against them, click the video that is on your screen now.